Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox. You're on the panel this evening as the one and only Bridgeman. And I've got a 50-50 choice here. The one and only. No, it was going to be the one and only JFK. I would do JFK.
I'm all right, pal.
Can I say a big good evening to you guys in the
find
panel?
the words to compliment you, mate.
Oh boy, can I just say a big good evening to you guys in the panel? Massive good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How we doing, lads? How we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, pal. How are you?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Yourself, Bridge?
Excellent, pal. Excellent. Buzzing for the game. Getting closer and closer, isn't it? That's tomorrow morning. That's the week nearly done, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a backbreaker today. Wednesday was always a backbreaker. Once you get over to Wednesday, that was it.
Hump day, Bridge.
Hump day, pod. That's it. You go over hump.
This is a hump day. Get out of the hump and we're all right.
You've got some memory.
I know, mate. Aye. Aye. That's a good memory. Aye. You just made me go kind of Twilight there. Just so.
Oh, come on, you.
Oh, dear
me.
You two old Partick boys are reminiscing well tonight, I'll tell you. Dear, oh dear.
You should see the Partick girls.
Rich knows the Partick girls.
I'll tell you.
Aye.
I'll tell you.
Right.
I'm married to one. I'll tell you.
Well, we wear our trousers to their knees, but where do the Partick girls wear their knickers?
Oh, you
behave yourself. Behave yourself, you.
Oh, JFK.
I'm sorry, man.
Wait a minute, I turn that volume down.
Bally's one of the finest ladies ever to be in this planet.
Absolutely.
She's a Partick girl. Mrs. Bridgman's a Partick girl.
Aye. Tell you what she can fight. Oh my God, can she fight?
All Partick women can fight, mate.
Oh, it's sore. It's sore.
Aye.
No, that's no fighting, Bridge. That's just hitting you. That's no fighting.
Oh, dear.
So can I ask you two gentlemen a question? Obviously, obviously these games, it's the if you like the top six, the ties are all right. What's your personal view on this split? JFK then, Bridge.
Hate the split. I just think the split is a rubbish way to decide it. I think the way that the league's set up, the games that they crush into so many silly months of the year, and then they decide to spread this out in the last 5 weeks, just beggars belief. Especially when the likes of ourselves are obviously going to have to play European qualifiers. But for me, the split's a fallacy. And the fact is that we should extend the league. Extend the league by maybe 2 teams, maybe.
Right, so you would go with a 14-team league and play how many games? 4?
Oh,
so
would be allowed to be playing 4? I think there's a constitution in the UEFA that you're not allowed to play any more than 40 games.
Is it not 38 for the top leagues?
Is it 38?
I've no problem to put money on it, GFK. So how would you work that, mate?
What would you classify the top leagues?
Well, are we going to be classified?
The Premiership leagues look at the Championship down in England. They must have about 42 games or something like that season. 46. Wow. Yeah.
Aye, but they're not the top league.
No, I'm saying that. What's the classification of a top league?
Sorry, but the English Premiership is 20 teams, so they play 38 games.
Exactly.
That's correct. That's what Rochdale's saying.
JFK, how would you work your 14?
Well, obviously we couldn't. I mean, I'd like to see probably if we extend it to 16. I'm just thinking of some of the teams that would come into the league that would maybe be candidates.
And how would you work a 16-team league?
Well, a 16-team league, obviously, you would need to just play each other twice.
Right, that's only 30 games, mate.
I know, but
you've not thought this through, have you?
No, I have, because I'm fed up with the 4 games. I'm fed. Right. I'm
to make the 2 games work, you need to go back to you'd need to go back to a 20-team league. Could we do that?
No, we couldn't do that. But you see, I'm old school in the fact is that I'm fed up with the 4 games and playing other teams in cups and that, and we end up playing about 7 or 8 times a season. No, I know we can all shout and bawl about no, but we want to play the beggars twice and at our place and at theirs, But the fact of the matter is that it's getting repetitive now.
Your opinion is that you'd like to play each team twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I get that.
Yeah.
But for that to work, mate.
Oh, go to 18 then. 18 teams. Go to 18 teams, right? So then that becomes 34 games then, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with that? Because is there enough good clubs in Scotland to have a 20-team league?
Well, who have we got? We've got the 12 that's in it this now.
Right.
You've got the Harry Rags, the 2 Highland League ex-Highland League teams that are just no longer at the league. Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes you up to 15.
Right. Scumsy United.
Whether they would get in is a different matter, right. But obviously historically...
You've got to count them. You've got to count them.
Ayr United.
Yep. Dunfermline, one of Bridges' favourite. Mm-hmm. That's 18. And then you've got, what have you got? Falkirk.
Try to think who's in the championship. But, I mean, they're all cannon fodder, They're no system. I mean, Bridge made a good point the other night there when we were looking at he said he was watching I can't remember what game. Bridge will probably correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was a Livingston game. And, yeah. And I don't think there was anybody at the game, never mind somebody. Am I right saying that, Bridge?
It was a very, very empty stadium. Very empty stadium.
So it was a very empty stadium. So Scottish football can't sustain that, and why should Rangers have to,
Would the other teams go for that? I'm not. I get your point. I mean, I don't know if the television companies would be too happy. That would be the problem with 2 reduced Old Firm games, 2 reduced Aberdeen games, 2 reduced Old Firm versus Edinburgh, and 2 reduced Edinburgh derbies, because they're only interested in viewing figures. But for a punter, 2-team league when they split, it would turn the clock back. What's your views, Bridge?
Well, I've always been keen on the 18 teams or even 20 teams if we could get them. But it would need a lot of investment. There would have to be investment into the teams from the lower leagues, and there would have to be some stadium upgrades for sure. But the ones that you've mentioned and now where you got to roughly 20, I think we should, and I mean it from an administration perspective, the football administration, the authorities should try to get that. The TV, the problem is the television. They want Rangers and Celtic against the other top teams 4 times a season. That's what they want, because that gives their viewing figures. But really, for me, I would love to only play them twice a season and get back to where we were before. I think we all never played with an 18-team league, but I would even go as far as 20. But it does require some investment from the administration people. It definitely does.
If you look at the, I've just flicked it up there, Oxy. Sorry to interrupt, mate. If you look at the championship in Scotland now, it's a 10-team league, and it's Ross County, Dundee United, Ayr United, Inverness, Cali, Dunfermline, Partick Thistle, Greenock Morton, Queen of the South. Okay, that'd be your 8 teams that you could possibly add to the Scottish Premiership.
The only one of them I can't remember being in the top flight, and this is me, is Queen of the South. No,
they were never in the top. They've always been in the first division, the old first division or championship.
I can't remember them being in the top flight.
Every Greenock Morton, Thistle, Dunfermline, Inverness, Ayr. Ayr won the old Premiership, 1974, 75. 75,
one of my first away games where you beat 3-0 down at Somerset.
I get in jail at that game, mate. That was the one Johnny Doyle get.
What year was that?
That was the year Johnny Doyle gets sent off after he dropped his knees and blessed himself that day. And I threw a pie at somebody, but it had a brick in it.
Oh my God! And what can you remember the year at all?
76, I was going to say.
Yeah, you might be right. But I'll check that one. I'll check it.
I think Somerset Park. Johnny Doyle scored 2.
3-0 we get beat, mate.
Aye, Johnny Doyle scored 2. We were on the old rickety bit behind, right behind the goal. We decided to redecorate the
last time I
terrace.
was doing the Ayr United's ground, a big crowdies were away doing the follow thing, and I think we got beat 2-1, and there were people throwing things at the director's box, the Rangers director's box, John Lawrence, and he said, he was famous for saying this is going to change, and I don't know if he lasted much longer because it was bottles and everything. My mate got done for throwing a bottle up at the director's box.
A couple of hooligans here. I've never.
Oh yes, they were hooligans, but I mean there was loads of fans ran onto the pitch and started throwing things. I think it was 2-1 we get beat. My God. You know yourself when you do the follow. You accept a lot, and sometimes you come away upset. But I mean, the Bears were absolutely raging. It's raging. I think it was a following on for Berwick and all the other crap that had gone on. Just no right. I'm not going to say any more because I'm only giving away secrets. I don't want that.
There we go. It was the 28th of the 12th, 1974.
You went down, yeah.
No, wrong game. We won that game. Must have been the following season. We won that game 3-0 goals for Derek Parlane, Tommy McLean, and the late great Sandy Jardine.
Hey, that was meant to be there, huh? So what was the year of the game? Was it 77 then?
No,
he joined the Beggars at that time.
Yeah, United. Let me see. It must have been the 73, 74, because I've got 75. 75 sounds in my mind, mate, but I'll keep trying. But
1976 it was. I said that. I've just put up Johnny Doyle just arrived at Celtic Park in 1976 season after inspiring Ayr United to a famous 3-0 win over Rangers on August the 20th, 1977. So he joined them in 77, but in 76 it was Oxford. According to this, I might be wrong.
United 1-1.
Anyway,
I'm
just curiosity's going to bet. I mean, carry on there, Bridgeman.
No, I was just going to say, I think the time I'm talking about was around 1968, 69. We get beat 2-1 by Ayr United, and it was just mayhem and murder, and nonsense to tell you the truth. Oh. But we didn't have any stars in our team like Mosney, and who was a big Brazilian boy? What was his name we had with Mosney? Who was he? You remember his name?
No.
Cabrani or something, was it?
Is that what it was?
Cribari. Was it Cribari?
Aye.
Cribari. Mine Mosney was it Forfar we were playing, and Mosney came out and managed to get a goal at the last minute or something. Unbelievable stuff. Just unbelievable. We were so poor. So poor.
You've got me annoyed. I'm looking for that, but I'll find it later. But aye, well, interesting that people get a view on that. If anybody likes the split, it'd be interesting to hear what their views would be. Yeah.
I think given the situation, that there's a lot of folk prefer to see better teams, and that's the reason why I dare say that's one of the reasons why they went to the SPL way back.
My problem with the split, mate, is it's no fair. Last year we played more away games than we played home games. Imagine you lost the league by a point or a goal or something.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't we got it different this time? We've got 3 home games and 2 away.
No, but last year we ended up playing an away game more. This year we've ended up with 19 and 19, mate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there's nobody travelling. But because the fixtures have worked out pretty much as predicted, yeah. But I just don't like it for that point of view. I just don't see how you can have a balance in a league where you can end up playing different games in different times. But I know I'm going to bring him in because I know that Fox quite likes it. Fox, and you come, mate.
Hello. I
Hello.
quite like what?
The split.
I kind of like it. I don't like it when it's dragged out here 5 weeks, mate. I think we should play weekend, midweek, weekend again till it's done. The thing is now, it's a changed landscape for Scotland now and their teams in it. We're into Europe, mate, at end of June, didn't we?
Aye.
And I think it should be finished as early as they possibly can to give the players plenty of time for a break. Also, along with that, I think we would need to alter our transfer deadlines, opening days as well, mate, for to give the teams that's in Europe a wee chance to get a side together, get them playing together before we plunge into Europe, and we don't have any, hopefully, bad upsets like we had against Progress, etc., mate, when the teams weren't ready. Also think the start of the season's wrong. That's the time the teams are in the European qualifications, mate. They need to concentrate on that and the league. I would do something else with the League Cup, whether once the big teams come in, I think it's about the last 8 in it. I would move that. I don't know how we'd fit it in, but we seem to play a hell of a lot of games in the first half of the season and very few in the second half of the season. Typically, we're out of Europe, all the Scottish teams by the January time, so maybe it'd be easier to fit it in midweek after January, mate. I think we need to get somebody with a bit of brains in the SFA and start restructuring Scottish football to give our club teams a wee bit of a chance.
Also, what I'm against is when we're in full swing with our season, I don't like these 2-week breaks for international football. I don't like it at all. International football should be played midweek. Simple as that. Midweek. And that caters for it. Sorry, pal.
I agree with you, mate.
Yep.
I agree with you.
Definitely.
Anyway, we've been joined by Big Al. Evening, Big Al. What are we doing, mate? He's on mute. It's Big Al. I'll be with us shortly.
Just found it, Oxford. 1975, Somerset Park, Ayr United 3, Rangers 0.
We've had some shocking results.
October 1975. Jock Wallace was the manager. There you are.
What year did I say?
You did say 75. I said 70.
You're a disbeliever, Jimmy Miller. You're a disbeliever, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, bringing back to what we're talking about, guys, the split is rubbish, and the breaks that we have for the international football are total garbage. You know, as a season ticket holder, like you guys now, I want to go and see my team on a Saturday, and I'm quite willing to bend a wee bit for the television rights and things like that, but I think for the Scottish international games and all that, it's an absolute joke. The time that the players are supposed to be with international squad, etc., etc. But going back to this, 5 weeks of games are spread now when we could have played some other games, which might have gave our team a chance of playing some football. Instead of having all these daft breaks, why not play the international football in the weeks? You know, I hate international football. I detest it. I detest the tap and trannies. Doesn't do anything for me. Never has, never will. No. I just think the split is an unfair way to sort the league out, because I don't care what anybody says. Computers are rubbish to sort out things. Aye, so do they. Look, they've sorted this out so that the the inbreds can win the league. Plain and simple, and it's an unfair. I know we've got 3 games at home in a row, but it's an unfair way to win any league, and it's been proved there in the past.
All right, we've been joined by, I think he's with us now, the Mr. Big Al. How are we doing, big man?
Yes, I'm fine, gentlemen. It's Anzac Day here today. Excellent.
What's on your mind, big man?
But I was curious with the passing of Billy McNeil. I wanted to ask Bridge a question. I was wanting to ask Bridge what type of player was he? Obviously, I'd never seen him, and you would have seen him in his kind of heyday, if you like. How good a defender was Mr. McNeil?
He's a great player. He's a massive centre half, and was very, very friendly with a lot of Rangers players, particularly John Greig. But before John Greig, he was very friendly with Jim Baxter. They all ran about in a big crowd. Where I lived in Drumchapel, they lived in this little inshot, and there was 2 corner closes in the inshot, and my mother lived in one side. Well, obviously I lived there as well. One corner close, and Paddy Cairns' fiance lived in the other corner close. So they used to have house parties up there, and there was a lot of Rangers players come up, Jim Baxter and people like that, and a lot of Celtic come up because Paddy Cairns and Dennis Law, they used to come up quite regular to the called Ferry, and I used to go and speak to them. They're only kids, they're only very, very young. But McNeil was well known. I think the most famous in my lifetime, the most famous Scottish halfback line was actually Greg McNeil and Baxter, and there was some before Greg. Who would it have been? Crerand, McNeil and Baxter. They were really good halfback in old-fashioned terms, marvellous halfback lines. Billy McNeil was a really good player for that time. He was. That's all I'm going to say.
No
Thanks for that, Bridge. Anything else on your mind, Big Al?
No, not much. The split. I'm kind of with Jimmy here. I'd rather see the league extended. I know that there may be certain games that would be cannon fodder, and there'd be games that would with the lesser teams playing each other, maybe not so much attendance. But the 4-game thing, what's that? 7 times? How many times have we played Kilmarnock this year? And this will be the 7th time we've played.
7 times at the end.
And 7 times we've played Aberdeen. It's a bit trudgy, isn't it?
Aye.
You just want to see a bit. I'm not saying freshness, but you just want to home and away. That would be ideal for me.
I'm not against that, Al. I'm not against it. I just think I don't like the split because it can be unfair,
Yeah.
Well, I think it's slightly unfair to the team that isn't going to win the league, but if you do the damage before the split doesn't really matter. The games are party games, really, you know what I mean? So you need to do the damage in the first
and also for
half of the season.
For fans and that, I think the advantage would be that you get I know TV will move kick-off times in maybe days, but at least you get the fixtures at the start of the season and you can plan accordingly.
Aye. That makes total sense. Like, and you're not gone there. I don't know. Sometimes going to the games 4 times a season, you kind of know what it's expected. Not so much was this season, obviously, because we fluctuated that much. But in previous seasons, you knew kind of knew what you were going to expect. Like up 2 goals, okay, gentlemen, let's leave. We've got to win. 4 games a season for me is just too much.
We mentioned 1975. I know that's way before your time, Al, but that's been
that's a year before I was born, man.
The Premier League was brought in then, GFK,
Aye.
and it was meant to be brought in for competition, improve Scottish football, improve the national team. It's worked well, hasn't it?
No, but see at that time, Oxshare, it did work well. It worked well for a few years, then he decided to change it again. But for me, I thought the Premiership at that time was okay. It's when we went into this daft carry on of the split. It's just that. But I don't know if there's. I think maybe Finland do it. I might be wrong. But I don't. if at all, we're the only other country that does it. It's a rubbish way to decide a league. It's laughable, you know. And I can agree with Al's saying there. I mean, if you're the team that's put a few results together and then the next games all become party time, but it's a rubbish way to decide it. You know, you have a split. It's no basketball we're playing. I mean, I go to see the Glasgow Rocks. You know, the basketball, I like the basketball, and they do that in basketball, but they do. That's what, and they do it in baseball, but you shouldn't need to do it in football. Have a split, you know, and it's all to do with television and the greediness. And let's not be kid myself on. Rangers are part of that greediness because the voting system at that time was stacked with Rangers and Celtic. But it's rubbish now. We've had enough. No, I mean, 4 times a season in the league, and then you play others 3 and 4 times in cup games. It's stagnant, guys. It's rubbish now. But don't get me wrong, it's no stop me renewing my season ticket for next season, but I'm looking for something better than what we've got. And
Aye.
You know, and that's the way I feel.
Right. If people want to call us and give their thoughts, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. You were brought into the call by Fox or Old School Blue. But what can you talk about, Big Al?
Can talk about anything they like.
Well, within reason.
Just touching on that. They do a thing like that here. They do with that NRL here, the rugby league here. It's massive. It's huge. Yeah. But you can have the team that finishes 6th in the league in the competition, and then they'll go into a group with the top 6. You can have the team that finishes 6th win the competition. You know, to me, it just seems crazy.
I would imagine that any rugby league fan, and you'll hear what I'm saying there, any rugby league fan would know how the Super League works. To win the grand final, you might not finish in the top 2, is that right?
Of course.
Is that the same in England?
Am I right, Mr. Rugby League fan?
Ah, well, I'm a rugby league referee. I done the course. I'm, mate, aye. I used to run
rugby league's for big daddies, man.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey.
That is, man.
I ran a kids team in Drumchapel called the Drumchapel Wildcats. 2 years.
Funny enough, Bridge ran a team called the Drumchapel Wildcats.
And we played at the Donald Dewar Centre, and in order to become the manager of the team, I had to go on a course to learn the rules of rugby league, and I became a fully
3 rules.
Oh, I became a fully fledged referee.
The first rule in rugby and rugby league is do what the referee tells you.
There's no rugby and there's no rugby league. It's rugby union, which is rubbish.
You know.
Wait a minute. Yeah,
rugby league is hard and fast.
Is it, Dad? You big dafties play it, man. All you need to do is run fast and be stupid to play rugby league.
Right.
Can play rugby league.
I was a big dafty.
Jimmy was a top player.
You've also got to remember that rugby league was the professional league. The rugby union was amateur.
But all kidding aside, what Al's saying is right. The rugby day, you know, teams can finish six.
I find it crazy, Jimmy.
You know,
is that not the same in Ireland? Does Ireland know like that?
Well, crazy.
Well, the top 3, and let's say when the split happens, the top 3 and the bottom half of the split can play the bottom 3. Oh, for God's sake! And
I've not got the league in front of me, but who's in the 6th position in the league at the moment?
St Johnstone could go by Hearts.
Imagine that.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's happened.
5 weeks later.
That's happened before. That the team that's been 7th has ended up with more points than the team that's been 5th.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about there is if they introduce that kind of thing like the system of the rugby league and that you've got a St Johnstone who finished 6th, who haven't been good enough all season to then lift the championship cup, which, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I think it'd be best for everybody, but it's a monetary thing, isn't it? As you say, TV and the stadium's empty. Then how are they going to play their games? Like, you know.
I think Jimmy's harking back to when if SPL first started, it was a 10 game.
Yeah.
10 sides in the league, and it was they played each other 4 times, and it was a fair. There wasn't a split involved, much as the same as there are as at League One and League Two down the bottom leagues there. So you played 4 times a season. You knew it was about the split in Scotland. I have to say, there's a lot of folk like it, and there's a lot of folk don't like it.
Well, why not revert back
it.
to that then?
I wouldn't dispute it, pal.
If anybody likes it, they can give us a phone in 0141 356 1972 or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. Is that fair enough, Rich?
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely.
Anybody who likes it, because I think we're pretty much all similar views, and even Fox, who I thought liked it, gave his concerns about it. Okay, so the building.
Sorry, I was just wanting to kind of maybe expand on that. See, we're coming up with ideas. Well, if you went with, say, an 18-team league, if we had to combine a few teams, so I'm just speaking out loud here. So, say you've got the Fife region, you have one Fife team, you combine. I don't know what you would call them, but to try and get the fans in that would be missing week in, week out. It might take a few years, but you would say have Dunfermline, Cowdenbeath, East Fife, and Raith Rovers combined. So you take one kind of big team, if you like, for Fife. So the whole, you know what I mean? You go to Dundee.
That ain't going.
No, I know, but sometimes I think you've got to have a radical approach. You've got to think outside the box. If you want to try and get full stadiums, you know what I'm saying?
Identification with your and the region you come from always. It's hard. I mean, if I'm a Dunfermline fan, I don't want to be lumped in with Raith.
Oh, I know.
You know, I know what happened with Inverness and that. You know, and they amalgamated. But you know, could you imagine putting Ayr United and Kilmarnock together and the Scumdee United and Dundee?
That was the next one I was going to say.
Well, we've all got our own identity, so you know, I think something's got to be radically done. And the SFA and the SPFL are no.
I mean, they've not got they're not forward. And they've not got the cojones actually.
And
they've not got the money.
At the moment, they don't really care about Scottish football neither, do they? That's apparent.
No, that's true. That's true.
We had a quick discussion on here. We'll give pluses and minuses, but we've not set it up to the advantage of our own club. We're trying to be fair and want it competitive.
Yeah.
Well, you're quite right there. I didn't realise that, but we have all been talking about for the greater good of football, and a lot of other clubs won't talk about the greater good of football. Well, that's a good observation, big fella.
You know,
surely we all know that Scottish football is full of jealousy and hatred, particularly for against us, and that's for sure. And we're getting close to 50,000 each home game. And there's only one other team could possibly do that, and I don't even know if they do it every home game. May I say?
They don't.
I'm saying that I don't know how much they pull in, but my goodness gracious, we really are a quality team, quality club, and a quality fan base. So, you know, we would be subsidising, and probably are to a certain extent now. We'd be subsidising greatly if you go back to the 10 teams like Jimmy was liking. Then you wouldn't have the splits, and we might be actually a fairer distribution at that point because you don't have the split. The competition would be a lot tougher for the other teams who, you know, they don't have that weak competition at the end where they're playing each other, and it's only the lower party where they can gain some points and escape relegation. When you're playing 4 times against the big teams, a lot of them big teams. And I'm afraid that you're going to get punished even harder when you're down lower league, because you're not going to come up against as many teams of your own ilk around about you. You're going to come up against Rangers, Celtic.
How could you jazzercise that 10 team up, like 10 team league up? Could you play throughout the season? Could you play like you get in your baseballs and play a series of games? So I'm just saying you play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Just say we play Celtic Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday at some point in the season, and then a game's left over, and then you know just to create some sort of attention within the league at certain points in the league, moving along. Just play a series of games one after another.
Baseball, I get your thing. I mean, I like the.
I'm just trying to think
the baseball. I mean, the baseball since telly's kicked in, it's most of the games are empty, aren't they?
I'm just using that. I don't watch baseball, but I know they do that series of games things. You know what I mean? So
they do it because of the travelling, mate.
I understand that. But do you think a thing like that would generate excitement? I mean you've got a week, one Saturday, the next Saturday.
You went with a 10-team league, and you end up with 36 games. You're too short, so. You that could be the league winners, and you could come up with something. But I always thought the Razzmatazz we should do with the League Cup. Anything we do different sections, or they try things with the League Cup, and the Scottish Cup, the league should be just the traditional format. If that makes any sense.
For me, the League Cup should be thrown out. The League Cup, the League Cup doesn't mean nothing. It means hee-haw. It's only a treble for them. It's never a treble for anybody else. What do you get for winning the League Cup? A wee shiny cup at the end of the season. You don't get any European glory for it.
They stopped that long
time.
So
we don't get that. So why not just get to put the League Cup out to the league clubs down below? It doesn't mean nothing. And that's to me, they're wasted games. What did they do? They have a league format to try and make it better. It's crap. So why don't they just do away with the League Cup the way they done away with the Glasgow Cup, and just let the lower league teams?
It generates a certain level of money, But what Ox is saying there is, and the Razzmatazz. How do we get the Razzmatazz back? How do we get the excitement back into the games?
You know.
Why don't you make put the League Cup back in where the Scottish Cup used to be? You would get a position in the UEFA Cup.
No, because they took
Europa League. I'm saying that. Why don't you put it back in?
No, but they took a position away. UEFA took a spot away from Scotland, so that Scotland decided that what would happen then is that no champions of the League Cup would get that spot in Europe now.
I know that, pal, but I'm saying to jazz it up a wee bit. It's up to us to do that, surely.
One at a time.
But surely it's up to us. So we could say, here are the teams that we're putting, the competitions that we're putting forward, and the places in them. And we could say, instead of giving three positions in the league for the Europa League, we say 2 positions in the league and the League Cup winners. Or the two Cup winners.
That's up to the SPFL.
I'm saying that, yes.
They're not going to do that, Bridge, because UEFA took that position away. They took that spot away, but the self-preservation. So for me, it's an end of season cup.
Yeah.
Play at the end of the season. It doesn't mean nothing. It might mean revenue for the other clubs and that, but listen, let's not kid ourselves on. Who looks after us? Us, Rangers, because we've looked after everybody else for the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, that was a real interesting point, and I just looked out of curiosity, while we were there, and obviously that was a big game on Saturday, wasn't it? Down at Rugby Park, second and third. Sorry, third and fourth. Third and fourth, pushing.
Money was that
pushing, and obviously they can still both finish second, hypothetically, so they're really pushing for it. And you'd expect it to be sold out. Obviously, the 20,000 Kilmarnock supporters that have just appeared in Aberdeen with a massive following, who would be looking for 25,000 tickets if they were playing Ulster Cup final.
Yeah, you've got a caller coming in the phone there, Ox.
6,533. Evening, caller. How we doing?
Good evening, gentlemen. It's my name's Angus, and I'm phoning from the Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, you're not a local of there with that voice.
No. My name's Angus. I'm a bit of a paradox. I'm an Ulster man, like Big Ulster used to be on your show, but I live in Australia
Don't worry, Big Ulster's just taking a sabbatical. He'll be back, mate.
He's a good lad.
So did you see it from the Gold Coast? Angus.
Yeah, in Palm Beach on the Gold Coast, about
Excellent. There's a few guys.
Reg, shush.
Sorry. I was just trying to say to him, there's a few people on the show.
Yeah,
they're living there.
Let Angus speak. On we go, Angus.
Sorry, yeah, it's Palm Beach. It's just an hour south of Brisbane. No, it was my father's side, was a Scottish connection. I was born in Northern Ireland, but my father, he bled Glasgow Rangers, and nobody wants their father to die, obviously, but I'm sure glad when my father passed away, he passed away before all that trouble started with Rangers, because quite honestly, that would have killed him. It would have. He couldn't have had that at all. So, but anyway, I'd just like to say the show is great. I'll listen to it when I'm looking out at the Pacific Ocean from the Palm Beach, and when Bridgeman says things like, to all the Rangers supporters all over the world, well, I wonder if you're thinking of guys like me, and there's quite a lot of us. I know I don't need to reiterate that. There's a lot of Rangers supporters all over the world, but believe me, we're everywhere, so we are. And we're thinking about you guys. We're thinking of Ibrox. We're thinking of Rangers recovery. And we are getting back there. But I'd just like to say a few things. It's the first time I've ever called in.
Carry on, Angus. Those are yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Oxter. I'd just like to say a few things that I believe progress is being made. I know it's a bit of a mixture, but look, to me, Rangers will finish second this year. Now, I know second's not good enough for Glasgow Rangers, but just in the process of we're getting better. We were third last year. We're going to be second this year. We've had the run in Europe, and plus the fact that the games against Celtic, in my opinion, even the most green-eyed Celtic supporter would have to admit on the 29th we played them off the park, and I believe we'll beat them at Ibrox again. And the two games at Celtic, the one in September, we'll give it, they were probably the better team that day, 1-0. But there were circumstances, you don't want to go into it, you've lost the game. But we came back from Russia, 9 men, and believe it or not, that day, the general opinion was, you probably forget, well, football's a funny thing. People were honestly saying that Koulibaly couldn't play in that game because he was injured. And he was playing so well that it was a general consensus of opinion that if he had played that day with the engine room that he had, we might have got something out of that game. It was a huge loss that day to lose Koulibaly. I mean, can you believe how football goes? And in the last game at Celtic Park, I mean, really, Celtic had the first half against them, most of it, but the second half, Rangers, 10 men, at least a draw there. But it's all ifs and buts and maybes, as JFK would say. And by the way, I know you shouldn't have favourites on the programme, but I do like JFK.
Oh.
I'll use the word. No, you're all great. But JFK, I'll use the word euphemisms. So,
wait till you see him in his mankini.
He's a guy. If JFK ever comes to the Gold Coast, I'll have I think he likes his Lake Grey Goose and his 40-ounce bottle or whatever it is. I'll have one lined up at Palm Beach. Now, it's his euphemisms, and we talk about it here in Australia because I heard the show last night and people were saying over the next few weeks we're playing the sheep and the spoon burners. It's classic, so it is. But listen, I'll not hold you up, lads, but just one last thing. You were talking about players to get rid of and keep, and I know Rangers have got a pretty hefty payroll now, and we're bringing people in. Obviously, people will have to go out. But there's one guy, I know that's probably up to debate, one guy I really hope stays. And by the way, I'm a bit like JFK, I'm a Liverpool supporter too, so when Stevie G became manager of Rangers, that was brilliant. But there's great benefits from that. I mean, the fact that Stevie G's got his contacts there and Rangers can benefit from that. And I also believe, even going forward, and one day we all know Stevie G, I hope he's a great success for Rangers. I'm sure he will be. I hope he stays for a long time. But we all know ultimately one day, if he's a success, he'd probably finish up as the Liverpool manager. But whoever's manager of Rangers at that time with Stevie G, I'm sure he's got a soft spot for Rangers. We can use that long term for contacts and everything else. Because in Australia just recently, I don't know if you know or not, but there's a club in Brisbane called the Brisbane Roar, and Robbie Fowler has just become the manager. Yeah. So look, there's another thing. Stevie G and Robbie Fowler, they're mates too. and there's a lot of young talent in Australia. So I'm hoping that, Robbie Fowler, somebody coming on, he would be on to Ibrox. As I know for a fact, Craig Moore does a lot of that work for Rangers. He always on the lookout for local talent. But anyway, the one player I would like to keep, and I'm maybe being a bit biased here, would be Jordan Rossiter, and I know that's up for debate. No. But listen, the way I look at it is like this. That boy is a player. Stevie G rated him, Liverpool rated him, and I know, of course, he had the injury problem. Now, in my opinion, people get loaned out to clubs for lots of reasons. As you guys said last night, sometimes you send boys coming up so they can learn how to take a man's tackle. I think someone said quite rightly last night. I believe Jordan Rossiter, he's been lent out to Bury, and I've been watching his progress every week. He's played about 15 or 16 straight games for Bury, hasn't been substituted, hasn't been taken off, has lasted the 90 minutes. Now, I have no experience of watching and knowing about the English Division 2, but I would say this. I'm sure there's a few heavy tackles will be put in there in midfield in Division 2. Now, he's come through that. And he was sent out, I believe, obviously for general experience, but more or less could he put up with that. And I believe if he can get back to Ibrox with that confidence and his fitness is up, have a top pre-season, it's all ifs and buts. Because if you remember last year, Stevie G said himself he was the best player on the pre-season tour for Rangers. I believe it would be a bad loss if we lost that guy. Give him at least another, see how he goes. I know it's how the hell do you fit him into the Rangers team, because he's probably going to bring in more quality in midfield. We're talking about a number 10, a box-to-box player. We know Jordan's more of a defensive holding midfielder just in front of the back four, but I hope he does. But if he is going to leave, I hope Rangers have a good chance to put something in his contract if he's sold on to anybody, because we could regret it one day if that boy really hits his straps and gets his fitness. But look, I don't want to hold everything up. I just wanted to say that. But listen, guys, the show's fantastic. It really is. There's guys in Australia, mates I talk to. We're sitting on the beach having a beer, and we enjoy it. And you're doing a wonderful job. And I'll use the word metamorphosis or renaissance, and that's what Rangers are going through now, and they will get to the end of it, so they will. And I believe next season, I'm really looking forward to it. We can push Celtic all the way. We can really move next year. One last thing I would like to say, I believe the European run was great. I believe it was a little bit detrimental to maybe a few things, because if you remember, guys, and when we played Celtic on the 29th, I believe if it hadn't been for Celtic that year, that time, we really lifted for that game, because before that game, a few weeks before that game, in my opinion, Rangers were running on empty. We were running on empty, and I just believe it was because it was Celtic, and then we were having the break. We just sort of got together and, right, boys, come on, one last game, and let's give it to them. And I think that was momentum, that really, or adrenaline, call it what you like, but that's just my opinion on that. But look, I'll not hold you up, guys. Once again, a great show. Thanks for listening to me.
Can I thank you for all your kind words, and thank you for your call. I agree with 95% of what you said, but I can't give you that one about JFK, mate.
Can I have a quick word?
Okay. Yes, on you go, Bridge.
Angus, I do apologise for speaking over you, pal. I didn't mean it.
No problem, Bridge.
What I was trying to say was there are a lot of guys and Australian boys in the lobby. So maybe you would like to join a lobby at some point or other. There's quite a few come on there from Aussie. And Big Al, you know about Big Al. He is living in Australia now.
How far are you from there, Big Al?
Thousands of miles.
Yeah.
JFK, to your big cousin.
Angus, thanks for the kind words, mate. JFK here. All I can say to you, mate, is we're going to do the sheep on Sunday, food burners the next week, and then we're going to do the puddle drinkers the next week, mate. We are the people.
You've just made his year, I'll tell you. Just made his year.
Thank you, JFK. And by the way, I hope the garden's looking well.
I've got the biggest bush you've ever seen, Angus.
Oh no!
Well, the only bush I like, JFK, is Black Bush, the Irish whiskey. That's the only.
Now you're talking.
But listen, guys, I know PPS. Just one last thing. Believe it or not, I'm 68 years of age now, but I'm planning. I used to go over to the UK lots, especially when my mother was living, but unfortunately, Mum's passed away now. But I'm planning one last big trip to the UK, and I think it might be next year. But I'm going to take in Scotland and a Rangers game or a couple of Rangers games. So maybe if I ring up and I'll ring up before, but maybe in a year's time, I could like to
Yeah, be in touch.
Yeah,
and
sorry, I
I'm
was just
sure
going to say maybe if you contact, have a drink with somebody, it'd be great. Yeah.
You know, Angus, is Bridgeman here. Don't be a stranger,
Yes,
pal. Don't be a stranger.
No.
It's been brilliant to hear from you.
Okay, but I'll always be listening to you, Save, and for all the Rangers fans all over the world.
And keep it going for the Rangers.
All right, good night, boys. Thanks for listening.
Cheers, Angus.
Cheers, now.
Cheers, Angus.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Magic call.
Well, what about that, huh?
There you go.
You wonder why we do this, and then you find out every so often, Bridgeman, then JFK.
Makes it all worth it, then. It makes it all worth it. I wonder what Foxy thought about that call.
And you come, Fox.
Like everybody else listening to it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Good luck to
it was
Angus
good of JFK to get his cousin to phone in for Australia, wasn't it?
You're right, Ox. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's what makes Rangers Radio so unique. The people who are listening, you've got a guy like that coming in. Obviously, we've got Big Al, the global ambassador as well. But it's absolutely fantastic to hear guys. You know, I'm fortunate to be going to see the Rangers every week in the flesh, and I know you guys that have got to go far afield wherever you're, and you've got to watch it on television. But there you are, there a man who's still got his love of the Rangers. Absolutely fantastic. Great call, Angus. Call in again, pal. Brilliant stuff.
Brilliant. Bridge?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I'll say to you guys, apologies. Must have been a wee lag there. I didn't mean to speak over the guy.
No, don't worry about it.
But, no, seriously, it was wonderful to listen to. And there you go. It just shows you your show, or our show, is heralded in far-flung places. And I'm sure that Big Al's been mentioning that as well to people he knows. Denver Bear last night, and here's Angus. And I think he's about 1,000 odd miles, 1,500 miles from Big Al. So Angus is up there in the far-flung reaches up in Brisbane. And I think Yeppoon comes from that area as well, or close to it.
All right, Bridge, we've been joined by another caller. This will be intriguing. We can get him for the Gold Coast. I wonder if we get one for Govan. How we doing, caller?
How you doing, lads? Big Stevie for the drum, all right, troops?
Oh, there you go.
Is that Timmy there?
How you doing, boy?
I'm on looking for an application for the Wildcats.
You don't remember him, Stevie?
Of course I remember them. They're all Tims. Aye.
Oh, don't even there you go, you damn.
I'm only kidding.
Sent me a picture. That was a nice strip. Green, white. What was that other colour?
It was a black. It was all black, believe it or not. There you go.
Well, there you go, Jimmy. Another one of your fans on, eh? Much of you paid these punters to phone in.
Look, just you, Hodger, you know that I paid plenty.
Jimmy, I'm pretty happy because I wrecked your garden one morning, the Alfredo Morelos. I went Tonto, and everybody's talking about your bush.
Aye. Well, you stopped tearing my bush, I know, but I'll forgive me for that.
That was a fantastic call, but that boy there, that was magic, man.
It's mental, mate. We really don't know who's listening to our show, you know.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely mental. And what a gentleman, Big Stevie. A bit like myself or yourself.
Aye. But no, it makes it all worthwhile, guys. As you said, you don't know who's listening to the show. And it just shows you it means a lot to that many people out there. Like myself, I listen every night. And I only phone in now and again, but I thought I had to phone in there when Jimmy mentioned the Wildcats and the drum and that. No, I thought I had to phone in. Brilliant. Is Big Al still there?
I believe he is, mate, Big Al. He's on mute. He's on mute at the moment, but he'll be right with us.
Is he doing a bridge?
Is there any truth to rumour when the Wildcats done their practice, GFK, that it was shoplifting past the gear back running out the show?
No, see, you're trying to make fun of something that
This is what
It was close to your heart.
No. Listen. In all seriousness, we started. I love rugby league. Better than rugby union, and it was a rugby league. No. In my opinion, Al, maybe you don't. Right.
Oh, politically correct. Okay.
Right, but it was a way of getting the kids who weren't involved in football, and we started a rugby league club for girls and boys, and it was a great success all over Glasgow.
Good man, Jimmy.
And we started a team in Drumchapel called the Drumchapel Wildcats, and we were fully funded by Glasgow Life, and it was an absolutely fantastic 2.5 years that the kids enjoyed. And it was a great journey for me. The kids enjoyed it. So a bit of history for Drumchapel, Stevie. The Drumchapel Wildcats. We played our home games on that grass park because it was a summer sport, rugby league at Donald Dewar. Magic stuff it was. There you are.
I can't mind it, Jimmy. I must have been in Low Moss.
You must have been, mate. We never played Low Moss.
I really can't mind it, but there you go. You learn something. Every day's a school day, yeah? Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Aye.
Was that you met Myra Hinley?
Aye.
Oh, flipsy boy, aye. I'm trying to keep it down in case she wakes up. Oh,
good. He's got her on a tramadol.
No, I say to her every night, does this smell like chloroform? Just, that's it, good night. That's her. But anyway, lads, listen, I'm going to bug you. I just thought I'd ask Jimmy about the Wildcats. There you go.
Are you still all right for that day we mentioned, Stevie?
Yeah, 100% I'll be there, and if JFK's wanting picked up, it's not a problem at all. No. My friend who's a local funeral director will pick us up and take us. That's not a problem at all. Yes. His favourite Loyalist songs, Don't Bury Me. But anyway, we'll have a wee sing song that night. Right, lads, keep it lit. I'll talk to you later on. I'll maybe see you on Sunday, okay? So, all right, guys, great
keep
show.
It going for the Rangers. Keep it
you
going
better
for the
believe
Rangers.
it, Bridge. You know one of these Wildcats, Bridge, no?
No. I'm far more calm. Well, I think I was far more calm
He
than
was one of our cheerleaders with the pom-pom. Stevie, before you go, pal, I'll give you a wee tinkle of more about that other thing, alright?
Oh, it must be
okay.
Right, buddy.
Oxygen, you're right. That's the hand. The old Huskies have got the tongues out. That's it. Right, I'll sort you out. No problem. Just let me know what you need. I'll be down. All right, lads. Good night. And God bless. All right. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Right. Get yourselves in mute and we'll have a tune for your Fox.
From a guy so young to Glasgow City, they come seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know their ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. Four lads had a dream The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. Four lads had a dream, start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. I think it'd be only fair that if we dedicated that tune to Angus the Knightsbridge man.
Yeah.
Definitely, pal. Absolutely. Wonderful phoner, runner, should I say.
Guys,
Wonderful.
just been announced.
Very eloquent.
Cheers won the reserve league, guys.
Yes! What would you
All right,
score?
okay.
No, I seen a picture come up there with the cup 12 minutes ago. So I don't know the score, so it's obviously no long finished. They won the league. Won the cup. Well,
So what players out of that team then are going to go into the first team next year?
I don't know.
Maybe
That.
none.
I think
Maybe
that's I think that's an old
No.
40. Don't quote me on that. I think that's an old 40. But anyway,
I
know-
thought after the last round of games, mate, that
they were playing the night against Falkirk.
I
I'll
thought
be
the game was
finished now.
Monday.
No, I heard it. Anyway, it must be an old 40.
We need Ibrox here. Ibrox
Nah,
is a
you know-
legend.
Aye,
good.
3D,
He's a-
aye. Anyway, that was a good tune.
Can I just we're right, no, I know we were brainstorming a wee bit, and you're talking about the Wildcats. Can you put in the lobby and see what names you would put to the Scottish teams? All the teams here of like the Newcastle Jets, the Melbourne Storm. Obviously, we'd be the Rangers Bears or something like that. But, is there anything in the lobby? Can we come up with a few
No,
good
no, for
ones?
me, we just be Glasgow Rangers, mate.
I'm talking hypothetically.
Oh,
you want the
hypothetically.
Razzmatazz? Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you
an
want
old
the
40.
Razzmatazz.
Sorry,
Just
it's
for
an
the
old
League
40.
Cup, then, Al.
Well, whatever, I'm just saying, just to create that razzmatazz, just a different thing, like, you know.
All right.
Obviously,
Obviously, be the Aberdeen Sheep, JFK.
aye.
Oh, okay, it'd be the Hibernian Spoonburners.
The Celtic Molesters.
No,
That
no.
one.
Oh, wow.
No, that's fair play, man. Truth hurts.
Aye. Well, Razzmatazz just for the League Cup, aye.
Just for the League Cup. Anyway.
I've been thinking a wee bit about jazzing up Scottish football there, mate. What happens if we go back to the 4 teams of 10, mate? But the requirements must be no plastic pitches. Grounds must be up to standard. And all the rest of the leagues under that should be under 23. So we can bring through the youth in Scotland and give them game time. Nae all gone out the game guys at 30 odds in the bottom leagues.
Illegal, Fox. Illegal.
It's no illegal. If that's the league rules, mate, that it's under 23s, it's under 23s. How else is a young talent in Scotland supposed to get good game time, mate? I'll tell you what I know. See the team that gets relegated and the team that comes up. Obviously, very few of the teams in the lower leagues have got decent runs. There should be a government grant, or else the TV money goes to bring their ground up to standard of the Premier League, and that's the prize of getting there. What about that? No.
A bit radical. But
Well, we need
some good ideas.
We need to do something radical, Jimmy, because The way it's going to be is the top 3 or 4 teams are going to pull right away for the rest of them, and then we'll not have a sort of tier system left in Scotland.
But that goes, sorry,
how do we not just go totally radical and lobby the English Premiership? Bugger off Scottish football and we go and play in England.
Nah,
do that, lobby it constantly.
That's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. If you lobby it, man, if you lobby it and get on the case all the time, constantly, because really, it's a noose in your neck, Scottish football. We're not going to get any further in Europe. We're not going to get prestige-wise. We want to play it. The
reason I'm saying that, Al, is we need to get young people up.
I agree with you, mate.
Playing professional football. If they're not going to allow colt teams, reduce the age gap between the rest of them and underneath the Premier League, so that young Scottish players can get a foothold in the game, and maybe that'll start the supply of good Scottish youth into the Premier League, mate. You know,
as a club, we're scouring Europe to play the best teams. I listened to that Heart and Hand podcast. That Kevin Thompson was talking about it with him being a coach at Ibrox now, or at Murray Hummel Training Centre. So we're having to scour around Europe to get our players to play against the best. Obviously, it's holding the players back if we're only playing competition in Scotland. So, anything radical that change, but it's trying to get that consensus of opinion, mate. There's so many people are just, I think, too scared. They might be open to change quite a bit actually, but I think they're just too scared. They're not going to take that leap of faith. I'm away with trying to do something different for Scottish football, and it's good that we're all talking about Scottish football. We're not just talking about Rangers here, but a lot of other clubs would be selfish in their outlook on it. So that's a difficulty. I think if we leave Scottish football, we'd go on a far better.
Our outlook is if we get it right, it could benefit our club as well. You know.
Oh yes, ultimately, but we're not being selfish in our thoughts here. That's somebody alluded to it earlier. We're thinking that it's benefiting everybody. But ultimately, we want to be at the top of the tree. I want them to be playing well, but I don't want to be playing too well that they're pitting us off the top of the tree. But it's getting people to get on board with their thoughts and things. It's too insular, I think, the Scottish football, like, you know, George for the boys type of thing and all that. People not, and that's explainable and that's understandable, but a radical approach is required, I believe. And for me, the most radical approach would be playing in England and just forget Scottish football.
On you go, mate. On you go.
I was just going to say, not that I disagree with anything anyone said. I think when we look at our top league in Scotland here, we'll get 3 teams playing in the top league and will be again next season, and they've got these plastic pitches. I don't know if they're top of the range pitches, and I know that the pitches, these similar pitches, are used in Europe for the Champions League. So they would be justified in saying, well, if it's okay for the Champions League, it's okay for us. As an association in Scotland here, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they really do have to get rid of those pitches from the Standard League. Either everybody go plastic, which is not going to happen, or everybody goes non-plastic. That's the only way it can be. And that includes teams that are coming up to the league. There's got to be a set standard, and the standard's got to be set by the associations, which is all the clubs. We have to have a set of rules and regulations and standards that we expect everybody to be able to stay by. Otherwise, it'll just be as it is now, and it's everybody dog eats dog, you know.
It's funny, I listened to another thing during the week about that. I was actually talking about the plastic pitches. Now, you look at Man City's pitch is that hybrid pitch, right? That is top of the range. You wouldn't know what blade on that's grass and what blade it's plastic, right? But then you go to Hamilton. Hamilton's pitch, I believe, has just been newly laid and it's got an 8-year lifespan. Now, it's great for this season, right? It's meant to be a good surface, but it's got degradation, is that correct word? It degrades over a period, and it has 8 years. So what's that pitch going to be like at year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make that clear standard. It's grass, or if you're going to go for it, go for the pitch. That Man City,
I think that
financially they can't afford it.
I think the words that you used there, Al, they've got the hybrid pitch, and I know that them across the city have got that. and we're going to be laying one of them down. And I think Hearts have also got it. So I'm not sure about the Hearts one, but maybe the rest of the boys could tell us. But I know that they've got a disease. Remember, it got a disease and it was killing all the grass that was part of it. So I don't know whether they'll fix it or not. But you're right. Those are hybrid pitches are the way forward, and that's what I'm meaning. Somewhere along the line, all of the teams should have these hybrid pitches, but it may require initiatives from the governments to help the other clubs to get these style of pitches, so that we can get everybody and get on the same and be the same. It'd be wonderful if they could do that. I don't know if they could, but these are the kind of things that we should be championing going forward. Rangers are going to put one of these. Apparently, we're going to put one of these down this close season, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
I think we're missing a bigger picture here, guys. We seem to be bumping our gums about AstroTurf parks and all that. Look, Fox used a word there, and I don't know if you heard what I was talking about the other night, Al, about the Colt leagues. And in order to enhance players and bring revenue in, they need to allow the Premiership clubs to have a Colt team in the lower leagues. Because, as I've said before, look, if Rangers are playing away from home, the first team, and there's a game at, say, Firhill, and it's the Colts versus Partick Thistle, I'll go to that game. I'll pay my money to go to that game. And so will thousands of others. And that's the way to enhance it. Get the guys playing against other players who are obviously a bit better, a bit more skillful, but a bit harder. But that's the way to learn football. All this, I know we're not happy about the artificial turf, but that's not the be all and end all. For me, Scottish football's dying. Nobody wants to go and see it. You look, I keep getting what Bridge said last night, and we were talking about earlier on the night, Al. No, the Livingston game the other night, there was nobody at the game. So
yeah, but see what you're talking about there, Jimmy. I understand what you're talking about, and I agree with you, but you introduced the Colts teams, yeah? Rangers are playing Partick Thistle, the Colts team's playing Partick... That'll get an attendance, that's correct, but when Hibs Colts team's playing Partick Thistle, how many you're going to get a hand? So I don't think overall it'll generate. We will generate.
But it's not just about
the other teams. I don't think
it's not just about generating money. Al. That's what I said the other night.
It's generating the excitement, isn't it? It's generating making the players.
It's giving the players a better skill level, playing up against better players.
I agree with you.
Instead of playing reserve football against this one and that one, and Rangers are doing well, as I said last night. We're taking teams away to Europe and playing in competitions, but we need something.
That's what I'm saying. Kevin Thompson's saying we're scouring Europe to find the best that our players at that level can play against. That's great. That's brilliant. That's what we should be doing. We should be scouring Europe to find the best teams to play against, pit our wits against the teams. That'll make you a better player. Anything like that's great.
I mean, I know we've had Lauder up in Gascoigne, and we could go and own Michael Moles, the DeBoer brothers, but I want to see 11 Scottish players playing for Rangers.
I want your McCrorys, your Burjanisses. I want to hear their names being called out for the stands.
The only way to build that is build it in Scottish football, and the Colt League for me is a better way to go through it than we know we're all pissed off about the AstroTurf, but it's there and we can't do anything about it. UEFA and FIFA have said it's safe, so we need to go on with it. And the SFA and SPFL aren't going to back down on that. They're going to go with it. So there's a lot bigger fish to fry than just an AstroTurf pitch. We need to get Scottish football sorted, and it needs to be.
So do you introduce a full roster of reserve league? So we're playing whoever the reserve team is playing at their park. Week in, week out, you know what I mean? Have that as well.
Well, I'm playing an old record here, and I've been saying it. If it's no broke, don't try and fix it. Right. The reserve league for years was a great league. Myself and Bridgeman spoke about it last night. We were regular goers to the reserve league. If I couldn't get a ticket for my away game, I went to see Rangers in the reserve league. So if Rangers played Aberdeen at Pittodrie in the Saturday,
playing them at Ibrox, the reserves
played them at Ibrox as well in the reserves. So that's what I'm talking about. So Bridges singing off the same hymn sheet as myself. If I couldn't get a ticket for the game or I couldn't make the game, at least I knew I could go to Ibrox and I could go and see Rangers play Aberdeen that day. And it was a good game. I paid my money into my team. It makes total sense.
Can I ask a question on that, guys? Sorry, Al.
So is it definitely Scottish television?
I'm going to go on mute for 5. Sorry.
Is it definitely Scottish football being television then?
Yeah.
Right, okay, just out of curiosity. Right, I want to change the subject completely, Bridgeman. Unless you want to do your final thoughts. Bridge?
Yes, pal.
You want to come in and ask a question there, did you?
I was going to ask a question. This may be a really pedantic question, so forgive me, JFK. One of the problems we will have is, I think it will be the same as the problem we've got with our first team. If we follow in the many thousands that we know we can do, particularly if we're going to Partick Thistle and so on and so forth, that's going to cost a lot of money for policing and so on and so forth. And we might find that the teams don't want to pay that. They're only going to have a limited number of fans coming in, and all the rest of it goes with that. Sorry, pal?
Aye, possibly, mate. You're right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. There is a maybe, I don't know if it would be, there may be a cost element. And then, of course, you've got the possible trouble at football matches. What happened before a few times up at Partick Thistle. And I don't know if our fans were involved, but other teams' fans. So they ended up not allowing too many to come in. So I don't know how they'll handle that. I think that's a thing that everybody should give thought to.
To close on it, because I know Oxyers want to go into something else, but at least us guys are talking about it. As Mark Allen said, the SFA and the SPAFL don't want to know. Us guys are talking about it.
Maybe you've answered your own question, but maybe saying there's two organisations and there should only be one.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right there. Anyway, Bridgeman, it's hard to believe that 5 years ago today we lost one of our greats. William Pollard Jardine passed away on the 24th April 2014. I don't know where the 5 years have went, Bridge.
No. My abiding memory of the very recent past, may I say, and I'm not counting these 5 years, was when Sandy led the march to Hampden. What a wonderful event. What a wonderful, and well followed by many thousands of Rangers fans. Well done to him. And you've got to take your hat off and be thankful to people like Sandy Jardine, who decided he was going to do something, and the Bears followed on with him. And that started the revival for the Rangers, to be perfectly honest with you. So well done to Sandy. And sadly, the man's passed away, and it's really, really sad. Really sad, because a gentleman in football, there wasn't very many better on him.
5 years ago today, we lost Sandy. So if you just go on mute, lads, I'll come back to it.
Sandy in royal blue. We're half crazy over the love of you. And things, they are really perfect when we beat the Glasgow Celtic. And you look so sweet with the ball at your feet as you give us a goal or two. Sandy in royal blue. We're half crazy over the love of you, and things, they are really perfect when we beat the Glasgow Celtic. And you look sweet with the ball at your feet as you gave us a goal or two.
JFK, just obviously know my age here, and when you started watching the football, Sandy Jardine would be somebody that you've seen develop, coming into the team as a young man, playing in European finals, representing his country at World Cups, becoming an absolute star.
Yeah, definitely. I started to go and see the Gers in 1966, and Sandy Jardine just signed that season, 66, 65. Might be wrong. I've not got the stats in front of me. I remember going to see him. We played Partick Thistle. We played Partick Thistle. Sure we did. He was a wonderful player. And I met him a couple of times at a couple of functions, and he was a gentleman. And very, very well loved at Rangers, obviously. And the third time I met him, I was at an Ibrox tour. And he knew everything about Rangers. And it was a wee tiny Gallagher who was good flowers presented here at Ibrox a couple of weeks ago. He was a fantastic player, very cultured player. And to me then, he was the best right back in the world.
All right.
Without a doubt.
He joined us in 1964, obviously in Edinburgh lodge. And then he made his debut against Ayr United in March 1967, Bridge, as an 18-year-old boy into the team. And that same season, played in a European final.
Nice. You know, I mean, that's when we went to see the Rangers. And I remember him playing. I thought he played up front. So my apologies. I said that to Foxy earlier. I thought he played up front, but Foxy was saying no, he was right half. And I was at the game when he scored his first goal. I didn't remember who it was against, I must admit. Foxy was saying it was Hearts. But it's wonderful memories. He was a smashing player, very smooth, quiet individual on the park. And he's
Davy
quiet
White
in his
played
game.
him as a centre forward for Bridge.
Sorry?
Davy White played him as a centre forward.
I knew he played centre forward for the Rangers. Obviously, my memory is nothing like it used to be, you know. But I was sure he was. Sadly missed. I mean, I think it's a great thing that the Rangers done was naming the stand after him.
I'm just going to come to that, Bridge. When you think,
sorry, pal. On you go.
On you go. Because when you think about it, the Bill Struth main stand, the Sandy Jardine Govan stand, and you think of all the people that have came through our club who are legends, for Alan Morton, Willie Waddle, William Winton, Davy Meikle-John. You could go George Young. You could go on and on and on. But the second name of the stand is Sandy Jardine, JFK.
Aye, tremendous. You know, where I sit in the corner, it's a Sandy Jardine corner, and it's a privilege to sit there. You know, I mean, it was just a player who was very, very underrated. He should have, I mean, I don't know, I've not got my stats in front of me. I don't know how many caps he got for Scotland.
38, mate, 38.
38. I mean, I'm not a Scotland man, as you know, but I mean, he should have probably got more than that. I think I was at a league match in 67. Did he not score against Ayr? Did you say he scored against Ayr United, didn't he?
Yeah.
Aye, it was Ayr United. Aye. You know, he was a cracking player, and he was just a gentleman, and the presence he had, and you know, it was held in high regard by a lot of people, and especially us, but also at Hearts. I know he was actually born no far from Tynecastle, if I remember right. It was only like 50 yards away from Tynecastle where he was born, so he went back to join Hearts after his time with us. But great player, and very well regarded, definitely. John Gregg allowed him to go, didn't he? I was quite sad about that.
Aye, I mean, obviously that team was getting old, and Sandy went on and played nearly 200 games with the Hearts.
Aye.
But would you say, and I'll go to Fox with this, I know Fox is sitting there, just at our club, when Sandy developed his role, did he become the sort of first of the modern day fullbacks?
I would say aye.
Yeah.
Tremendous going forward, capable of controlling the ball with both feet. Scored a lot of goals with his left foot as well as his right foot. tremendous engine in him. And as far as the caps go, we need to remember back then you only had the home internationals and World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
Where I think 38 caps or whatever it was back then would be equivalent to about 100 caps now because of all the stupid games that they play in international football. But of course him and the other one, I shouldn't really mention much, but it was Danny McGrain. They were the first attacking fullbacks that I really ever took note of.
Yeah.
Especially in Scottish football. And but Sandy could do what McGrain couldn't, and that was put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
You know, and what he learned at Ibrox, mate, was how to be a Rangers player. It was a thing he kept throughout his whole life, and he put as much into the club as he did in the football side when he left. When he retired and came back to us for Hearts, mate. He put in tremendous work. We always known for the fighting fund that him and Jim Hanna put together. Jim Hanna was a very close friend of Sandy's. They worked well together. Another guy that never got a lot of recognition at Ibrox was Jim Hanna. And I think a lot of the gripes with supporters clubs that happen these days would have been solved with him, you know. The two of them were a good pair. They worked well together. It was them that rearranged all the trophy room and set out where every cup and presentation for other teams about the world and sorted it into some sort of order in the trophy room, mate. Great guy, mate.
I am, first of all, a great person and a great player, Bridgman. Named in the World Cup team in 1974, mate.
He was a special player, as we know. A lot of qualities, and what Fox is saying is right. He liked it similar to Tavernier. He was very athletic, and similar to Tavernier, he liked to go forward. And you didn't necessarily find him on the wing, but he ended up kind of inside right. He used to end up from running up from right back to right half and up to the inside right position. And he liked to shoot. He liked to shot at goal. And I don't remember him having too many shots with his left foot, I must admit, but he certainly liked a shot at goal, that's for sure. And he liked it when people said, it was a good run you had there, you know.
Did he not score against Bayern Munich with his left foot?
I was just going to say, that was the best goal I ever seen him score. He scored from outside the box.
Oh, no, his best goal ever was a drive, and he's overshadowed, but his best goal ever was against them in the Driver Cup final.
I know what you're saying, but for the pinnacle of his career, the one he took it just in the halfway line. I can't remember who it was that passed it to him, and he took it just before he came into the box, and he just banged it into the top left corner. A semi-final, and then obviously we know what happened after that. But that was, for me, that was my favourite goal of Sandy Jardine. Just as Fox said, I sorry to interrupt here, Fox, but
can I just say apologies? I actually don't remember him scoring that goal with his left foot, so I do apologise. And that's why I said I don't remember too many with the left, but I do remember him scoring goals with the right. Good shot.
This is just a wee quick trivial question, and when it's easy when you know the answer, but what player did Sandy Jardine play most with your club? Have a go at you, get it. Go to you first, Fox. Fox?
Sorry, mate, the player he played with most?
Yes. Hurry up.
McCloy?
Nope. JFK?
Oh, I don't know now.
Come on, JFK, stop Googling it. You're disqualified.
No, I'm
Bridgman, you're disqualified for Googling. Bridgman, carry on.
No Googling.
For me, yeah. Sorry, JFK. Sorry, pal.
No, I've not got a clue.
Right,
I'll have a go Ellie McDonald, there you are.
Nope.
Oh, would have said that.
Davy Provan.
Nope. Bridge, you've been on drugs again.
No. Just
over at you, Fox.
Derek Johnson.
Unlucky, hit the bar. JFK.
Ronnie McKinnon.
Nope. Carry on, Bridgman.
Oh, Derek Parlin.
Nope. Fox?
No, I haven't a clue.
Willie Johnson.
Nope.
John Gregg.
Nope. JFK?
Wow.
I'm trying to think of the Cup Winners' Cup team.
Nope.
You want the Cup Winners' Cup
Willie
team?
Henderson.
Colin Steen?
Nope. Bridgeman?
With Hearts? Was it Hearts or Rangers?
Nope. Fox?
Oh, I'm getting up, mate. Tommy
Ollie
McLean.
Matheson?
Nope.
Give in.
Come on.
Davy Smith?
Nope.
Tommy McLean?
Nope. I'd say he wasn't in the Cup Winners' Cup team, didn't I?
Oh, he wasn't in the Cup Winners' Cup team. Well, I'm not going to Google it. So
He played 453 games for this guy. 453 games, and you don't know him.
Well, we're not as young as you.
Come on.
Ronnie
Fox.
McKinnon.
No.
I said Ronnie McKinnon. Vox, he said no.
He played with Ronnie McKinnon 122 times.
Colin Jackson. Surely no Colin Jackson.
Correct.
Colin Jackson.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was Big Johnson second.
Yeah.
Ah, right. There you go.
You know, Colin Jackson's name, we know who he was and what he did, a marvellous servant for the club. You just don't see him in the frame for any of these things. You just don't. He's probably one of the few names that you wouldn't put in the frame for anything like that.
The real bomber. The real bomber.
Yeah, the real bomber, yeah, absolutely.
Sandy played 685 games for us, started to 657. 84 goals, 30 penalties.
My God.
What was his highest tally of goals in the season?
I think it was 9 in 1975 league goals, mate. But I think there was a few penalties in there. And the famous penalty was the one he missed at Easter Road when Colin Steen scored the goal with a flying header.
These are talking about, we've got the Bill Struth and the Sandy Jardine stand. We've got 2 stands left. Who would you name them after?
Hawks and Fox.
What one? What one do you want, Fox?
I'm just surprised still to this day that Rangers never named a stand after Davy Cooper.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You could go Cooper and Greg, or does Greg need one? He's got a statue, so you could.
I think Greg's will come out. I think.
Well, he's got the statue there, hasn't he?
Aye, but I just think that Davy Cooper's remembered in a stand by Motherwell, and in his best days, his football career, as he always said, I played for a team I loved. You know.
So what about Ian Ferguson, Alan McCoy? It's very difficult.
I know that.
Johnston.
I know, but they're still here.
I was always jealous of my mate growing up because his father named him Derek Johnston McLean, like.
But just getting back to that, that was I wouldn't have got that neither. By the way, Colin Jackson, I've got to be honest with you. I might have got it after 44 guesses, right enough.
I'd added another 100 onto that for me, mate. I'd never have got that. I could have Googled it in 10 seconds, but I didn't do that.
When you didn't get it the third time, I said he's not Googled it. You know, and
Colin Jackson,
Colin
Jackson at the shops. Big time. Smoked like a chimney. A long time ago, that.
A lot of the players smoked in, mate.
Aye, they did, mate. Aye.
I have to admit, I smoked all my playing life as well. All the years I played football, I smoked. That was the first thing I went for a half time was a fag. I must admit.
I was the opposite, Bridge. I never started smoking till I was 26 when I stopped playing football.
Is that when you stopped playing?
Aye, 26, mate.
Why? What did you stop for?
Because I wasn't good enough. Knew I wasn't good enough, mate.
Oxyers did say that about you. He wasn't never good enough. Never good enough.
When he started smoking, it was only after he made love. He was a 20 a day man, wasn't you, Fox?
Old ones are the best ones.
Definitely.
But that was a brilliant question about Sandy Jardine. That was a tremendous question, Oxia. Really was.
I would have happened to go to.
You never asked me about Sandy Jardine.
Well, I'm thinking that you were 6 when you left the club, mate.
I've got a different take on it.
On you go, mate.
Obviously, I never seen the guy really play that. But as you grow as a man yourself, and there's certain people, I would say Sandy Jardine to a club is iconic to a club, and I don't think that's too much to say that. As a man yourself, and as you grow, there's people you look at and you can take advice from. You can look at the way they carry themselves and try and emulate it to a certain extent. And I think Sandy Jardine was one of the types of men. He's a man you looked at. He was a man's man, if you like. He carried himself. He held himself with dignity. He obviously had courage about him probably throughout his life, but towards the end when he was fighting a battle that he had to win, he still stood up, faced it, done the things that he needed to do. Unfortunately, he was taken away from us. I think I'm really proud to say that he was associated with our club, because I think that's the type of character, the type of man, the leader. I think he typifies all the things that as a club and as a man, and even if you don't support Glasgow Rangers, as a person that you could take a lot off if you emulate it.
I think Sandy was. I think he captained the Hearts and captained us on occasions, but I mean, we talk about the captain, and he was a different character for John Greig, Fox. Huh?
He's away for having a fag.
No, he's away in a smoke. Pulling his drawers back up.
I think he was most assuredly a different character for John Greig. Most assuredly. He was a more gentle person, in my estimation anyway. He was a more gentle character than John Greig.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. When you seen John Greig on the partner, he was that inspirational captain that we're crying out for the new. You know, the way he would cajole and pull players forward and tell them how they're out of position. But Sandy wasn't that type of captain. You know, he was that wee bit more relaxed. That, although at times you could see them, he was cajoling the players on and trying to get them to push on. But certainly he wasn't as robust as John Greig, because he was the ultimate captain, and there'll never be another captain like John Greig. But Sandy tried that to follow in his footsteps.
You know, JFK, I was just going to say, JFK, John Greig used to give players in his own team, he used to give them the eye. Because he opened those two big eyes, they were massive eyes, you know, and they knew right away he was going to, before he started shouting at them, they knew right away. So a lot of the times it was done just by face signals, if you follow me.
The famous one with John Greig, Bridge, you probably know yourself, was the shake to the fist.
Aye.
And he
right in your face.
Shake the fist, shake the fist at them and that. Yeah. You know, and by the way, sometimes you used to see Sandy Jardine do that after that, when he became the captain of Rangers, you know, but as much as what Greig did when he was a captain.
I don't think Sandy was ever the captain. I don't think he was ever formally the captain. But captain is in a lot of games.
Aye, I know.
During the game.
You know.
But you know, I think I was amazed. I think it was a stat you told us a couple of months ago now, Oxtear, that John Greig only had very few red cards and yellow cards. I don't even think they had cards anyway. They're probably bookings.
Sandy Jardine, considering he was the defender, was booked 3 times in his career and sent off once. You should really, when you look at your record, Bridge, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm ashamed.
How many of them were with Rangers?
That's with Rangers, mate.
Oh, that's just with Rangers?
Aye.
Well, you say John Greig is
how
very...
often did he get booked?
Oh, you would need to give me a few minutes to look that one.
But see how you're talking about Greig and Sandy Jardine. I mean, they're different on that outside, but that thing, that manliness, that thing, and the mindset must be very, very similar between the two of the guys. You know what I mean? You get as far as they go.
He said that Sandy Jardine wasn't mild or couldn't look after himself. You can't play
All the
only
games,
professional games. You can't play with Rangers at that level in all firm games, hard cup ties, when the game is a lot more physical, and also play at the top level for your country.
Oh, he
Then
must have
go
a
to-
mental steel. It's unbelievable.
Then go to Hearts in your early 30s, move positions, move into sweeper, so you're in there defending as a central defender, and have a successful career there as well. You've got to be able to look after yourself on the pitch. Bridgeman, you being a centre-half could appreciate that, yeah?
Oh, aye, absolutely. Absolutely.
And at
I
He
think if you...
scored over 70 goals for Rangers, didn't he?
30 penalties, mate. 30 penalties. You know, obviously, you like all these stats. You must admire Tavernier as a player then.
No, we'll hold judgment on that, wouldn't we?
All right, okay. I'm not saying Tavernier's a Sandy Jardine, but...
No, I know. He'll never be able to, he'll never even lace Sandy Jardin's boots, but I mean, different type of football then, to what it is. It was real men that played football now. It's all mamby-pamby shit now, isn't it?
No, but you're speaking about two different levels of quality.
That's
Sandy Jardine was a quality player.
Yeah.
He could have played for any team.
International quality.
Anybody in the world he could have played for.
Yeah.
Anybody at that time in his peak, he could have played for anybody. I don't think at that time there was a right back who scored as many goals in that position. You know, a right back. I know some of them a lot of them are penalties, but you're saying what 30 penalties Oxford, so he must have scored another 40 goals out with that.
A total of 84 goals for us, mate.
So there you go. Then you're right. 40 goals.
So that's what I'm saying. I remember being at Ibrox many a time and seeing him score some cracking goals, especially the one against Bayern in the semi-final. So he scored a few out with the penalties. So it was a class player in the sense that, and the fit by then was far better than it is the rubbish that we're watching now. I know we get some good games now and again, but that's when football was football, and men were men and women.
It was a more physical game then, mate.
Of course it was, and that's what we like. You know, I know all this rubbish now that we're getting. You know, and Sandy Jardine. Well, it is, because Sandy Jardine epitomised that, and so did John Gregg. You know, give a tackle, take a tackle, and same with our strikers. You know, give a tackle, take a tackle. You know, see all this rubbish here now about that's a striker's tackle. We Rangers players who were strikers who could still tackle the ball and get away without getting a foul away. And this, so Sandy Jardine for me at that time, there's nobody like him and there never will be. Loved him. Brilliant player.
How many times would Big Steen get sent off in the modern game, mate?
Oh,
we think Morelos' track record's bad.
Correct. You're right, Fox. Aye, what a player he was, Colin Steen. Aye. So
was Colin Steen petulant? No,
absolutely.
He
was so bad-tempered swine.
He was a bad-tempered bugger, but I tell you one thing, he was a brilliant player.
Oh, a great player, but he used to lash out. Absolutely, didn't take any crap to anybody.
But that's not being petulant. Not like Morelos. Morelos looked like he's got a bit of shit stuck to his top lip when he turned in. He's doing stupid things. Colin Steen, I same again. I never seen the guys, but I didn't imagine the guys where they went down too easily and they're giving out what they're actually taking. Yeah, does that make sense? Whereas I don't think Morelos is anywhere near that. I think he's still a
some of the treatment that Colin Steen got when he played the Beggars, Al. Go and have a look. There'll probably be a lot of things on YouTube. You'll get so many minutes of games and that. Colin Steen get battered from pillar to post, but you know something? They got up and they got on with it.
That's what I'm talking about.
But at the same time, he gave it back.
I'm going to give you a trivial question then, right, on Colin Steen, just something I looked up. How many times was he yellow carded for Rangers or booked?
8.
He played 205 games. 8 is sub.
I'll say 8 times he got booked.
Bridgeman.
Talking about how hard that player and it's going to be something.
Bridge.
Being a bridgeman there, sorry. I reckon it's probably about maybe 18 or 20 times he was booked.
All right, Fox.
I would say maybe get sent off more than he get booked, mate. In his career.
JFK.
I'll say he probably gets sent off 3 times, maybe booked about 5.
All right, he was never booked and sent off 3 times.
So I was near it.
No, you weren't anywhere close to it.
How?
You said he was sent and booked 5 times. He wasn't booked at all.
But many times he sent off.
There you go, that part, right, but that wasn't the question.
Well, that was better than nothing. And that wasn't Googling it. There you go.
If I was schooling you at school, you'd have got nothing there.
All right. Okay.
Right. Say your answer again, Ox. He never got booked and he never got sent off.
But he actually got sent off 3 times, but that wasn't the question. The question was how many times was he booked? None.
Wow.
Just 3 straight reds.
Yeah, you're not a good quiz host.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
He was, see, watching him, he was a right awkward player to play against, I bet. The way he flayed his arms about and, he was getting sent off every game, and he was a moaning face bugger. He still is, right enough. Because I met him no long ago. As I know, Fox knows him quite well now, but I think he's still the same. He's looking after his wee pal.
Him and his pal, you couldn't make. The natures are so different. You couldn't make. They both did 2 of the 3 sending offs for both in his first season with the club, Bridge.
The first season when he came to Rangers?
68, 69, yeah.
Jeez. To be honest, I don't remember them. I only remember this. I remember the big ones, the controversial ones. But people get booked, and you didn't think too much of it, And I thought he would have got booked because of his character. I thought he'd have been booked a number of times. But I was really surprised. I'm really surprised he never got booked. Really surprised.
Was one he sending off Snow a tussle with Alec Ferguson, mate? When they played, he was with Hibs and Ferguson was with Rangers. I'm not 100% sure, but something sticks in my mind about that.
Well, no, the 3 sending offs and the no bookings are all with Rangers, mate. These are only his Rangers stats, mate.
How good a player was Ferguson, Fox?
He was average, mate. I wouldn't say he was a great player. It was all elbows.
Which Ferguson?
Alex
Ferguson.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Well, Alex Ferguson was the biggest. He was the highest transfer. Broke the record of any. I think we broke the record of any transfer in Scotland for 66,000 for St Mirren.
Do you think his cousin Bridge was a better player?
His cousin?
Alec Willoughby.
That's Jim Forrest.
That's Jim Forrest.
Jim Forrest, I meant to say. Jim Forrest, I meant to say.
I thought you were talking about Alex Ferguson, sorry.
Yeah.
Was Alex Ferguson we were speaking about?
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson,
how good a player was he?
He wasn't a bad player, truth be told. Scored on a good number of goals, but he was temper-wise, he was very, very verbal on the pitch and probably at training as well within the club, and that got him into trouble with the club. But it was all elbows. Foxy was right. Sometimes you see him, his elbows were away out, and is making them as wide as possible. And I think he fell out of favour with the Rangers because of he never picked Billy McNeil up. Billy McNeil scored the winner from a header. I think it was at Hampden, the League Cup final or something like that. And he ran right through and scored the goal, He ran right into the box and scored the goal. And Alex Ferguson never went anywhere near him.
Do you know his Alex Ferguson's goal ratio was better than Colin Steen's, mate?
He scored a lot of goals. He did score a lot of goals. That's why we bought him.
36 goals for us in 68 games.
That's 1 and 2. Getting on to 1 and 2, isn't it? My goodness.
Colin Steen was 101 in 208 games.
But there's no comparison who was a better player.
No, I'm not denying that.
These stats don't tell the real tale. Oh,
don't take in. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of Alex Ferguson, to be honest, and I never was. But he came to Rangers as a high value person, and he did what he did at Rangers, scored a lot of goals. But his mouth, as we know, he spoke his mind. Sometimes it got him into a lot of trouble. I mean, a lot of trouble, particularly with the Rangers management side of things. And that's one of the reasons why they must have cut his contract short, or wouldn't they keep him going or something like that. I don't know where he ended up going to after Rangers, but it was never to anybody as big as Rangers. And I think that's one of the reasons. There you go. So it was a big step down from being where he was. He was the top of the tree at Rangers. As I say, he broke the Scottish record for transfer money, 66,000. Enormous amount of money for somebody around in those days. And he did the trick, scored some goals. As I say, I wouldn't try and take it from a football perspective. He was very good for us, but from a shall we say, his temper wise, or the way he spoke to the managers and things like that. Because I think he really fell out with Davy White, and I remember stories about Harold Davis pinning him against the wall and things like that. You know, telling him what he was saying. I don't know whether they were true or not, but these are the kind of things you hear. You know.
But Colin Steen Hodge, two great records, and that there's no other Scottish player, international player, that's ever scored 4 goals in one game.
Up until Darren Fletcher done it, mate.
What? And an international at Mars?
No, it was still a competitive international.
No,
no Darren Fletcher. Who's the one that was
a hat trick?
No, he scored 4 goals.
Stephen Fletcher.
When did he score 4?
A couple of seasons ago.
Gibraltar or something, I don't know.
Malta, I think it was.
Scored 4 against him.
And remember who Colin Steen was against before you say it was high quality?
No, I'm saying it was a World Cup qualifier.
It was against Cyprus.
Cyprus, yeah. Also, he scored 8 goals in his first 3 games for Rangers.
And as Wally Johnson said, what happened after that?
I know that.
He's a cheeky swine, that Wally Johnson, isn't he? I know Skipper and I went to see that show, and he was really good. And he was letting Steen talk first, and then he come in with a wee bit of sarcasm, and the whole place was in knots at him. Absolutely brilliant.
Good night that was. I met you that night.
Marvelous. That's right. That was really funny. The way they've obviously got it off pat, if you feel what I mean. Got it reeled in. I just love these.
I was just checking that Sandy Jardine and Alex Ferguson played the same team 18 times together. You know, and by the time Sandy was finishing with us, he was the manager of Aberdeen on in his good run.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think he ever got over Rangers letting him go. And whatever verbal treatment he got at Rangers, I think it just turned him completely. And that's why he ended up with the violence against Rangers. Aberdeen are a really tough team. Really, really tough team, you know. The way he had them anyway.
Was there no
never a manager of Rangers?
No, Rangers wouldn't have looked. Rangers did go to him. I do apologise.
1983, he was offered the job.
He was offered the job, and so was Jim McLean of Dundee United. And I can't remember which one went first, but once one of them turned it down. Once one of them turned it down, the other turned it down as well.
So was there no a rumour that Alex Ferguson wasn't happy that things have been said because the girl that he married?
I don't think
but that was one of the rumours that was going about, and he wasn't happy about some of the things, and he'd say some things. But you know, he went on to become one of the greatest managers in world football and that, but he never became Rangers manager, so what? I've never liked him, especially when he brought his Man United team to Ibrox and he called us all thugs, and he wasn't talking about the team, he was talking about the fans.
I think I do remember some of these instances you're speaking about where there's tittle-tattle going around stadiums at all times, and people did say these things. There were people who maybe not so much taking umbrage.
Don't believe.
I don't believe everyone. Of course,
anyway,
I don't.
We've reached that time in the evening before you two slander yourself any further.
No.
Not at all.
Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? Another wonderful night and a great call. I'll let you talk about the guy for Angus. Brilliant. So can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, and we know it, the battle fever's coming on. Big game coming up. Please keep it going for the Rangers. because the Rangers really, really need us. Keep it going.
Can I thank Miguel, Bridge, Fox, GFK, Bridge, Stephen for the drum, but a special shout out to a first time caller this evening, Angus for the Gold Coast in Australia. Brilliant call, and you sounded like an absolute gentleman, mate. Thanks for the call you made one night. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully celebrating a trophy for the Gers.
Go the Wildcats.
Thanks, Al. Hopefully celebrating a trophy for the Gers. Take it away, Fox.